Hi, everyone. Drew Roberts here with Milwaukee Real Producers. Today we have the opportunity to get to know one of our newest partners to Milwaukee Real Producers, Tim Hodgman with HealthMarkets Insurance. We're really excited to get to know Tim a little bit more today and give him an opportunity to tell us a little bit more about his business and go from there. So Tim, really appreciate your time today and looking forward to learning more about you.
Oh, no problem. Thanks, Drew.
Very much so. Well, love to jump in. I guess, Tim, can you, being a newer partner, love to get the opportunity just to learn a little bit more about you and how you got into this business and maybe what you did leading up to starting this insurance company.
Yeah. Well, I'm a former commodities trader down at the Chicago Board of Trade and in the CME group, and that all kind of went away with technology now that we're into. But I had a summer home here in Wisconsin and moved up here full time. I went to school at St. Norbert, so I drove by Milwaukee quite a bit and got the heck out of Illinois, I think just in the right time. And I'm a Brewer fan and a Cub fan, which is different because when I grew up as a kid, the Brewers were in the American League, so I didn't care. But
Sure.
That's pretty much where it started. And I got into the health insurance business because I was, as being self-employed my entire life, I was paying exorbitant premiums when I moved up here. And I'm like, what the heck? This is ridiculous. And I had some friends I used to trade with that were involved. And so I kind of just dove in and started, trying to recreate myself and start a new business.
Very cool. Yeah, definitely. You and I have had numerous conversations too prior to this, but being self-employed, being a small business owner, trying to navigate that whole insurance, especially on the health side, can be very difficult at times. But tell us a little bit more about the business, about the different areas that you work in, and as well as the ideal person for you to be able to help and work with as well.
Well, yeah, that's a great question because, health insurance is difficult. If you go to your local insurance person, there aren't very many people that offer health insurance to smaller people or even how to guide. So basically what we are is we're independent licensed agents. We handle individuals, small businesses up to 50. We show you basically how healthcare.gov works. If that's an option, we represent all the carriers. We go all the way up through Medicare and help you with, supplemental insurance, your dental, your vision, all the things that you don't want to worry about. We pretty much do a thorough needs analysis, and especially right now, it's very confusing. So to have a little bit of a sounding board and just say, listen, we understand that you're losing your coverage from your job. We're in a little bit of a waiting period here. Who knows if you're going back or not? So we basically just try and get to know people. And you're not a 2006 Pontiac with 80,000 miles on it. When people say, just give me some quotes. It doesn't really work like that. I know nothing about you. I don't know what you're eligible for. Just when we get a chance to figure out what's going on, then we can look at as many options as possible. So not just healthcare.gov or a short-term ancillary plan. We can even consider a group with the realtors, a lot of 1099 employees. People don't really service them. So it's a very underserviced market, and it's nice to have people to be able to lean on and advise on the proper solutions because everyone is different. That's what we try and do.
Definitely. Yeah. And I think that's the one thing is the navigation part, right? Is trying to navigate, like, what is my best option? If I do have a family, or if I'm a single person, or is it better for us to do a small group policy, things of that nature? I think all of those questions, you can only read so much. And personally for me, it gets very confusing. So I think that's a huge part, kind of what you and I have talked about, is the way that you approach it is more of a consultative approach and trying to figure out what is the best option for the people that I'm working with. When it comes to agents and things, I'd like you, if you could elaborate a little bit too. I know you work with a few top agents here in the metro area, but Can you tell us a little bit about some of the solutions that you have for agents, as well as some of the groups and things like that within the real estate industry?
Well, yeah, there's many agents and people that are 1099, what have you, are told that they don't qualify for group insurance. Well, there are many times that's true, but there's a lot of different ways to look at it. So if you take an agency, right, Coldwell Banker local office, or Baird Warner, or Keller Williams, whoever it may be, there's probably a W-2 employee in there somewhere, right? So as long as we find the right solution with the W-2 employee, and then we can join 1099s on there. Like I said, it's never a one size fit all. And what we try and figure out is we'll show you that there may be options to look this way. Or even taking, certain people, if you had a younger assistant or what have you, it may be way more affordable for them to not go into a group policy and go into healthcare.gov and get their premium tax credit. So like I said, it's just really, it's very similar to probably being a realtor. Is you're trying to figure out what's right for everyone involved. And, I want to be a resource, not only for you to bounce ideas off of and figure out how to cover you and your family as a realtor, but also for your clients, anyone that moves, that gives them a special election period. And what we're really realizing right now is people don't get it. They've had insurance through their job forever, and they've never had to go deal with certain things. So what we're really trying to do is just educate. And
Definitely. And I think one of the things too, obviously with this virus, there's a lot of people being furloughed and things of that nature. How is this affected, and what are some of the things that you're kind of doing to educate and things like that? What are some, I guess, if we can touch on the virus and how that's affecting what you're doing because of that?
Well, first of all, I'm doing a lot of this. We're usually face-to-face type people. I'm typical 50 years old, a little bit after technology, trying to figure out Zoom and all these fun things. And I have had a little more of a focus on Medicare, but just because Medicare is a little easier, and I like talking to older people because usually they're bored, and so that's a nice way in the door. But this under 65 market is really underserved. People just don't understand it. And right now we just want to make people aware of what their options are. And they don't even know with Cobra. And, a lot of people probably are in a waiting period for the next, 30 to 60 days. You don't even know if they're going to go back to work or what the options are. So really what we try and do is base it down on a needs analysis. Are you pretty healthy? What do we estimate your income is going to be toward, so we really do. We take a look at, most people, like I said, they want quotes. They think they're quoting their car, their home insurance, and it's like, you're not. We need to know about you, and I'm not doing my job if I don't find out what's really important for you to protect and make sure we can put you in there. It's your solution, not mine, is what we really try and emphasize.
Definitely. One of the things too, obviously, you recently just came on to Milwaukee Real Producers, and we're super excited to have you. I think you're the way that you go about building your business, creating relationships, and I just think your passion for truly helping people has just been a phenomenal fit already to just the Milwaukee Real Producers community. So would love to hear a little bit too about, kind of why you decided that this was a good fit for your business. And if you could elaborate on that, that'd be awesome.
Well, absolutely. So like I said, I was never I guess I took this job when I first started it as more of a sales role. And as it's evolved, that's definitely not the case. Our job is to come up with solutions and it's really important for people to make sure they can go to bed at night and they're going to be covered for certain, they have what they think they have, and not just something that someone signed them up over on the internet. And, God forbid, no one knows anything about their insurance until they have to use it. So we try and make sure people understand. That's, when you have a heart, that's ultimately just how you have to handle this business, especially right now. Definitely. And with the Milwaukee Real Producers, I just see a fit with not only real estate, independent people. I'm not necessarily, I'm happy to help them, which of course I want to, but I also want to be a resource for them. Like I know, on your magazine, you have your, a stager, a chiropractor, financial planners. I mean, I just think it's
Sure.
really nice to be able to open up and have a resource. Hey, when they come here, this guy will take care of you. He'll do your home inspection. He'll do this, and right.
Sure.
That's ultimately.
Definitely.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say definitely. I think that's the key is when we're kind of building out our preferred partner list, obviously our businesses have to come recommended from a top agent. That's a prerequisite, for everybody to partner with us. But we don't ever overflood one industry against another or anything like that, because for us it's really about building a tool belt. And I think that there are a lot of agents that potentially are need help in the health insurance area, and that's a big thing too, is especially when people are starting to have families and things of that nature. If potentially their spouse doesn't have it through their job, they are looking at what are the best options for them, and how is their family protected. Like you said, the one-off agents who are still single, things like that might be a little bit different, but there's a lot of agents out there that have families, and they're always trying to make sure that they're finding the right solutions to protect their families. And I think that's just a huge piece, and why we were so interested in finding the right person for this market, because that we could recommend to the top agents, because it is something that's important, and it's if you don't know it like you, it can be pretty confusing at times. So.
Well, yeah, it's hard to. What I've learned a little bit more of not sitting face to face and doing this is really try and stay out of the jargon. You're going to remember 2% of what we say. So ultimately, especially now, you have a lot of empathy. I understand people are confused. It's, you're not trying to shove anything down anyone's throat. We have a solution. You give me some answers, and we have a little conversation. I will give you some solutions. And that's honestly where we're at, and we're just here to drive the bus and try and show, there's carriers everywhere. I've had a few calls recently where people, well, would they cover a pre-existing condition? I'm like, well, what kind of pre-existing condition? And some COVID people that didn't have insurance. I'm like, of course I feel terrible for you, but I can't commit insurance fraud to get you covered. So license, just like, the realtors and the home inspectors, and we have an ethical standard to live up to. And honestly, that's our ultimate goal, is to keep people happy and have them as clients for a long time.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Tim, I appreciate you taking the time, to give us a little bit of insight today into your business and you. And we're super excited to have you be a part of the Milwaukee Real Producers community. And really just appreciate your time, and thanks for sharing all that information.
Terrific. Thank you very much, Drew.
Awesome. Have a great day. Thanks, Tim.
All right, you too.